What's going on, people? It's JD, and first off, I want to say thank you. There's so many views right now, and it may not seem like a lot to some people, but to me, I'm still new to this, and having over 70 views in less than 24 hours for me is a huge thing, and I really appreciate it. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you check that last video. It's going to talk about trolls tricking Xbox One users to using a certain format to break their consoles by going into the development part of the Xbox. It's going to cause it to loop every time it reboots, causing it to break your system. So hey, don't do it. There's no reason to do it. Just because you want your Xbox to be Xbox 360 backwards compatible, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the awards that these guys gave out yesterday, which made sense or matter to anybody. So first off, the game of the year goes out to Grand Theft Auto 5. It was not surprising, but I am a little disappointed because what kind of merit is there for that? What deems it to be game of the year? Yes, the campaign was amazing, but the multiplayer is broken. It's so broken, it's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, I have not touched the multiplayer. I beat the single player campaign, waiting on the multiplayer to become available, and at launch, which was 2 weeks after the launch of the game, this multiplayer was incomplete. It crashed, people lost their characters, it was nuts. From what I heard from all my friends, it was tore up. So I don't know how this got game of the year versus all the other games on here, which were complete, 100% complete. Multiplayer worked on day one, single players were pretty decent. Like, a complete game should be deemed eligible for game of the year, in my opinion. Studio of the year goes to Naughty Dog for The Last of Us, which was pretty cool. Best shooter goes out to BioShock Infinite, which is okay. There's other actual shooting games that focus just on running and shooting, doing other shooting mechanics. I felt that BioShock Infinite was a different kind of shooting game. I wouldn't necessarily deem as best shooter, but hey, give me your opinion down below. Best action adventure game goes to Assassin's Creed 4. Best sports games, NBA 2K13. Best independent game goes out to Gone Home, which is also the best PC game. Best RPG goes to Ni no Kuni for the PS3. Best fighting game goes to Injustice, which I have to agree, that game looks absolutely amazing, and now is out on PC and next-gen consoles, with the Ultimate Edition being out with all those characters. You gotta check that out and play that game, especially if you love these superheroes, Batman, Superman, all those good people. So check it out. Best driving game goes out to Forza 5, which I have my ups and downs on. I felt that Need for Speed was a better game that you can just get in and play, upgrade your stuff, get special weapons, do all this extra stuff, which was pretty cool. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was best DLC. We had the best Xbox game, which was Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I have no clue what that game is. I definitely need to look that up. The fact that that game is best Xbox game that no one's heard of is crazy. But you also notice that there are no other first party Xbox games on this. That's kind of sad. Let's be real. We got best PlayStation game going to The Last of Us. Best Nintendo game going to Super Mario 3D World. Not surprising. We got the best handheld game going to The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, which I totally agree with. Best casual game going to Animal Crossing New Leaf. We got best voice actor going to Troy Baker for The Last of Us as Joel, and we have Ashley Johnson playing as Ellie in The Last of Us. Best soundtrack goes to Grand Theft Auto 5. There's no contest in that at all. All the best music is in that game, and I play that game just to listen to the music sometimes. It's cool stuff. Best song in the game is Will the Circle Be Unbroken, performed by Courtney Draper for The Last of Us. Most anticipated game goes to Titanfall, and hopefully that game comes out and it's good. I'm still debating whether I should get it for Xbox One or for PC. Knowing some of my YouTube friends, definitely if it's a multi-plat, they will pick PC over Xbox One. But seeing that it's that one game that Microsoft's pushing the crap out of for Xbox, who knows if they go the other way. We'll see. Now let's talk about the VGX Awards in general. So I was looking at YouTube, I was looking at some videos from the reviews of what people thought of the show, and man, People all thought of it as the same. It was terrible. People said don't watch it. People were watching it and lost interest, and right after that they posted a video on what they thought. So I'm like, man, it can't be that bad. So I went on last night and I started watching the videos, and I actually started looking at I found the live stream, so I started watching it, and I fell asleep a couple times. It wasn't something that I had to stay up for. I woke up this morning and I started to watch it again, and it was pretty bad. Like, low budget. There's no music at all. The only time there's music is during, like, when they're showing the nominations of the awards they were giving out. It was like stripped down. Like, it was like a award show light. It's ridiculous. Like, who was in charge of this? How long did they have to prep to make sure that this was a good show? Let alone, this thing was 3 hours long. So if it's gonna be 3 hours long, you better find a way to entertain people. I mean, we as YouTubers, I mean, I can't consider myself to be a YouTuber yet. I'm just trying to establish myself. We try our best to keep the video short and sweet, to the point. And they had this show for 3 hours, and it was boring, bro. Like, Jeff Keighley, I respect the guy. He's a hard-working person. Maybe you can consider this damage control for the guy, but man, he works hard. He tries to get to the point with all these developers, for all these special people that he's trying to interview to get some information out of these people. He knows what to do, and he knows what not to do. He does what he can do. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It seemed like he was bored out of his mind. It was not a good show. And to make things worse, the other host, Joel McHale. What the hell? Who? What? Like, this guy was checked out from the start. Like, they just announced who the host was, and I'm like, who is this? And it's like, the Soup. Okay, well, he's kind of funny in there. And, like, in this, it was so bad. He was so terrible. Like, he was making these jokes. They weren't funny at all. They were not funny. Make things worse, he was just blaming everything. Like, the prompts. Who cares? If you don't know how to look at prompts, that's your problem. That's not the camera's problem. Yeah, he's wobbling. Maybe he's bored out of his mind, too. Maybe he's trying to get you excited because he was, like, monotone the whole time. Yeah, well, you know, you're wearing, layers and, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on, man. Like, have some energy. Act like you give a crap, bro. Like, this is terrible. This is not what we as gamers expect a VGA to be, you know? Like, this is ridiculous. One thing I also wanted to mention is that it's like, he was like, let me get all this stuff right now. I got 5 bags. Or it's like, let me get out here early. Like, dude, why'd you even accept it? Why couldn't we had somebody like Kevin Pereira? Maybe he was smart enough to say no because it looked pretty bad. Like, he made the right choice. That kind of may have hurt his career. But anywho, it was just bad altogether. If you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to. Jeff Keighley could have done it all on his own. We could have been alright with just some kind of computerized thing off the computer. We would have been fine without you. So, do us a favor. Don't come back. Anybody gives you some kind of hosting thing, you just need to take a vacation and rethink it, bro. Like, that was pretty bad, and that was not cool. In a way, it was disrespectful. Let's talk about the steal of the show, and that was Nintendo, hands down. These guys, for the first time in 10 years, has made an appearance on the VG, whatever the heck it was. In my opinion, I would think the reason why they've never shown up was because they would get booed off the stage. And this, what happened yesterday, was just proving to the fact that they don't belong, man. Like, they're not making the right decisions. The big thing, for the first time that they made their appearance on the VGX Awards, was that you can play as Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong. That was a big thing. They showed us 2 levels, and don't get me wrong, there's some things that maybe he can bring to the table, but why? Out of the entire history of Donkey Kong from back on the regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, you were never able to play as Cranky. Cranky was just a cameo, just there to, you know, give Donkey Kong a hard time. He was never meant to be a playable character. He has a projectile where he's throwing dentures at people. He uses a cane to jump high and Yes, it can do certain things that the other monkeys can't, but there's no reason to have him as a playable character. And to imagine, think about this. If this is the reason why they delayed the game, to put Cranky Kong as a playable character, that is just another example on why Nintendo is failing with the Wii U console. I owned it at launch. I bought the Wii U at launch, and there was no games on that thing. The one game that I played on that game system after its release was Monster Hunter. I played it on the 3DS and I played it on the Wii U. That was the one game that I played. I bought the other games, but I traded them back in because it's like, why? I have a GameCube, I have a Nintendo 64, I have a Super Nintendo. I could play these games and have the same experience because it's the same experience every time it comes out. It's the same thing. They need to switch it up. As soon as they switch it up, then they're gonna have console sales. They gotta do something. This is terrible. It was not a good representation of Nintendo, to say the least. This was so bad, it was ridiculous. What an insult. Alright, so I decided to get that stuff off my chest. So first thing is, I really appreciate every single view that I get from you guys. Thank you for checking out my videos. You guys could be doing something else, but you guys are checking my videos out, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you would, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. It gives me a reason to get up in the morning to keep doing this. I really appreciate it. Apparently there is something going on starting in the beginning of January where basically YouTube will be checking a lot of gameplay videos to check for copyright infringement, possibly changing the way people post their videos and when these videos get posted. I just want to make it very clear that this is just a hobby for me. I'm not trying to get any kind of financial gain. I'm not trying to get any kind of money from this. I mean, obviously, if an opportunity arises, then who knows if I would take it or not. But I already work full time. This is not something I'm trying to get a financial gain from. I don't monetize my videos, so hopefully I still have an opportunity to keep posting out videos on news and hopefully some Let's Plays eventually, possibly some reviews. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.